Hey there, welcome back to Transformers War for Cybertron. Yep, I am finally back with another video for this game. And I think it's one you've all been waiting for. That's right, we're covering the soldiers. I'm going to be showing you as many soldiers as I can. Now, I'll be doing so in multiplayer. But before we get started, I have to give a huge shout out to this guy. I'm sorry, I really don't know how to pronounce your name. His help was immeasurable in getting these guys to work. I really appreciate it, man. He does some more modding stuff on his channel. You can check it out in the description or in the card above. But now with that all out of the way, let's show off some soldiers. Starting off with the neutral machine gunner. You'll probably recognize these guys from the first chapter, Dark Energon. Pretty much a reskin of the Autobot soldiers, but with different Energon colors and no Autobot symbol. Otherwise, pretty much the same. Let's get a general turnaround of him. Yeah, his idle poses are different attack stances. Guess he doesn't have a standard neutral pose. They typically come in with neutron assault rifles or Energon blaster pistols. He can jump. He can use abilities. His melee is a little buggy, because he really doesn't have an arm underneath his gun. But overall, he works pretty much like any other character. So if we check out his alt mode, yeah, pretty much the same deal as the Autobot soldier, but with different colors and whatnot. I actually managed to get the soldier's default colors via method I discovered. He has two additional colors, which I'll showcase now. The blue, whose colors I think I got pretty accurately. He may not be as precise as the default one, but I think I got it pretty close. The orange, which was another color I had to match manually. Now, if we take this guy for an actual test drive, he boosts, he jumps, he could dash, but he cannot barrel roll, unlike all the other scouts. You can do everything else, though. There's the same scout vehicle weapons. And that's pretty much him. Okay, well, that is the neutral machine gunner. Let's go bring on the next one. Up next, the neutral protector. He's similar to the Autobot one for the most part, but I think his back spikes are a little bit different from the Autobot one. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think that that's different. Except with the different color Energon, and he's pretty much all white. Because I don't think he has any other color variations. I think he only comes in with a photon burst rifle. Otherwise, pretty much the same. Check out alt form. Pretty much the same as the machine gunner. Just all white. Not a lot to him. He functions exactly the same way as the machine gunner's car. Yeah, not much to him. Alright, well, let's bring on the next one. Up next, the neutral Rocketeer. Another pretty much duplicate of the Autobot version, just with the different colored Energon and different colors. With the bluish scheme like the default machine gunner. And naturally spawns in with a thermal rocket launcher. Of course. Doesn't really need anything else. Pretty much functions the exact same way as the machine gunner, but his transformation is slightly different. The sounds don't work for some reason, but yeah, that's alright. I don't know if he ever actually transformed in the Dark Energon chapter, but I think if he did, he would probably shoot rockets. But I can't remember if they ever transformed or not. In any case, he comes in 2 color variants. This default one, and this sweet black one, which I think is probably one of the coolest soldier schemes in the entire game. Some additional tests: he can melee strike, but it's still buggy because he doesn't have a hand underneath his weapon arm. For alt mode, he can fire rockets, he can drive, still can't really do vehicle abilities. But either way, he's certainly one of the coolest soldiers in the game. Okay, on to the next one. Up next, the Neutral Brute. Now this one took a little bit more work to get operational, because whenever I tried to play as him, I ended up spawning in as the Autobot version of the Brute. So I had to use some more creative methods to get this guy working. But this should be more or less how he looks in the actual campaign. Well, as you can see, he comes with his shield, which, from what I have been able to figure out, comes from an ability, but he just spawns in with it. Let's get a look around him. He has his pack. Don't know if you could detonate it on him or not. And he's got his Warhammer, which has some unique attack animations, which I'll show you in a bit here. But for now, let's take a look at his truck mode, which we never actually see in campaign. Well, technically it might be visible in the last chapter of the game if you look hard enough, but let's check it out. Yep, that is the Brute's truck form. Very, very cool form. Probably my favorite soldier vehicle mode. It's just got such a buff look to it. It's really cool. Now he still keeps his Warhammer when he transforms, but he loses his shield. So we'll just have to showcase it like this for now. But yeah, he comes with some distinct attacks. He could swing. He could swing. He could fancy strike. He could kind of jump. It's a little quirky. And he also comes in with a rocket launcher. Although I think his hand is a little bit buggy. He has rockets. He can turbo boost in strafe mode, but I don't think he can turbo boost while driving. Nah, I don't think so. He could jump though. His turnings are really clunky though. But yeah, that's pretty much the Brute for you. Okay, well, on to the next one. Next up, the Neutral Flyer. Now, right off the bat, you can probably tell that this guy is missing something. His leg thrusters are evidently a separate mesh, and for whatever reason, they don't spawn in with him. So we'll just have to make do with this for now. He's pretty much like the other neutrals. An Autobot reskin with different Energon and no Autobot insignias. He has a sort of hover glide movement. He comes with his signature scrap maker. It's a little bit clunky, as you can see, but that's okay. He can also transform into his fancy jet mode, which ascends and descends very quickly. It's kind of hard to see. And he's got big gaps in there. It's just how it comes out, even in campaign. Very odd. More to that, if we try and move him, he is quite slow. He could do a barrel roll. Like I said, his ascension and descension is very quick. And of course, if you know your flyers, you know that they hover. So, this is an interesting one. Very interesting. He probably should have machine gun fire, but he just has rockets right now because he's supposing a scientist. But that's pretty much it for the flyer. Let's get on to our next and last character. Exit stage right. And finally, we wrap it up with the neutral Titan. You know, the guy that appears at the very last checkpoint of the Dark Energon campaign. Now, I always thought this guy was pretty unique, at least his color scheme. But much like the Autobot version, he is a reskin of the Autobot Titan, with much more vibrant colors. A bold red and a faint yellow color. Honestly, I was surprised to see this guy is just a brute with tank cannons on his back. Always thought they were more distinctive than that. Which, despite the guns on his back, you'd think he'd turn into a tank. Which I'll get into in just a moment here. Anyway, he comes equipped with his ion displacer turret. He can weirdly smack things. Yeah. Technically speaking, this guy is a brute. I always thought this guy was like a Titan or a heavy gunner or something. Because I kept confusing this guy with the Destroyer. Because this guy's named as a Titan, but I thought the big tank, the Destroyer, was the Titan. But I always thought theirs were the Titans. In any case, this is what he looks like. He could jump. Not much else. He's pretty much just made to march around with his big turret gun. If you drop it, he's gonna look kind of weird. He's not really well designed for anything else. You see, he's really buggy. His head just regurgitates into his body. So, he really needs his big gun. If he doesn't have his big gun, he's super glitchy. So, best to leave him with it. So, robot mode's pretty standard. But now for his alt form, let's go check that out. Move that off to the side. Transform. Yep, it's actually a truck. Just like the Brute. I always thought it was going to be a tank, because I could have sworn I saw files that suggested that there was a tank mode for this guy. Kind of like a Brawlike tank, because he had the 2 cannons on his back. But I guess he's the same form as the plain old Brute, because he's technically a Brute. If we want to drive him around, function's pretty much the same as the others. He can boost, jump. He handles terribly. Oh, yeah, very rough to move around. But, you know, it's whatever. So, that is the neutral Titan. That's pretty much all I can say about him. In any case, that is it for the neutral soldiers. In the next episode, I will be tackling the Autobot soldiers. So, with that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and I hope you're excited for the rest of the soldiers. So with that, I'm going to call it an episode here, and I will see you in the next one with the Autobot soldiers. Till then, later.